forgiving myself became easier, because it was like, now I'm not necessarily forgiving me. I'm not the bad thing that happened. What happened was I forgot who I was.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Efrangeliz,
Jasmine Balais,
And Kassandra Lee.
and you are listening to Look at Us.
Look at us.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back, you guys. Y'all are cute.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I don't know about y'all, but this is something that keeps coming up for me, and it's been coming up for me for like several years, you know. I almost feel like it's like a purpose of mine, you know, I don't know, you know, to finalize and process this and actually be like good at doing this. And that's forgiving. I've had, you know, it's came up for me a lot, you know, sometimes you think you've forgiven someone and then boom, something else happens where you realize, oh shoot, this is still stemming from that. And I'm like, and you have to forgive yet again. So yeah, I wanna cover that. I wanna see how you guys feel about that. Like,
Forgiveness is hard, man.
it's super, yeah, literally, I feel like it's like,
It's not easy.
it's not. And I'm wondering, what's you guys' earliest memory of forgiving someone?
Of forgiving someone?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta think about that. The earliest memory of forgiving somebody. Okay. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I was maybe over 10. I haven't reached like 15 yet, so between that age range. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night to my stepmom crying over the sink in the kitchen. Like, I just heard her. So I opened my bedroom door and I peeked out and I saw her bent over crying. That's how much she was crying. And that broke my heart. And we didn't have the best relationship. She had done a lot to me to make me feel unloved, unwanted. I don't know, like I was bad, like I was a bad kid.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that moment, it made me realize it has nothing to do with me, that she is going through something deeper than I can understand at that age.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt empathy. I immediately forgave her for that, for everything, although much more stuff transpired years after. But I remember being like, I'm gonna let this go. Like, this isn't your fault either. It's not her fault either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just happen to be the punching bag that she's letting it out on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
I was probably like 6. I think I was about 6 years old. And my mom, she had left me with my dad for, I don't even know, maybe a few months maybe. She kept trying to leave him. So like she came back and she took me out of school one day. And I just remember like crying as soon as I saw her. And I was just so relieved that she came back. And she took me out of school, and that was the day that she left my dad, like, for good.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even say bye to him. And she asked me, I remember her, like apologizing and saying, like, you know, I'm sorry I left, and I'm sorry that we have to leave. But trying to explain to me, you know, it's for the better. And I just remember I was so young, but I understood it because I saw how much pain she went through. So I was able to forgive her in that moment and understand, even that young, that this is for the better. And I want my mom to be happy. And yes, it hurt leaving him without saying bye, but I was just so happy that she came back for me. And because I mean, I love her more than anything. So, and constantly, yeah, just from there, like, just being able to forgive her because she tried her best as a mother.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
It is.
So such an early memory of forgiveness. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, that's deep.
You, E?
No. Honestly, that's probably why I have such a hard time forgiving. I don't remember ever I remember letting a lot of stuff slide as a kid and wanting to understand like my father, because he was such a hard man, you know, like so such an angry person. And I remember always trying so hard to prove that I was like, you know, worthy of like him treating me good. Which is it's not that he treated me bad, it's just that he just didn't know how to process his emotions. And therefore I felt like I was the punching bag for him all the time. And so I remember always doing the most to try to get him to see me. So in essence, I feel like that was me forgiving all the behavior that he was doing, but I didn't really forgive it because it's like coming up. It's still coming up for me, I guess, till this day, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's interesting because I had a train of thought from hearing your story, and then you just changed it or added to it. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm going to say it now. When you said that you remembered that you forgave at 6 years old, I was trying to think like, do I have a memory younger than what I just explained? And a lot of, bad things or uncomfortable things have happened at an early age, super early age, super, super early age. But at first I thought, man, are kids just naturally born with the essence of forgiveness? Because I don't remember feeling even angry, bitter, this is your fault when those things happened. It was just like an acceptance. It was a place of acceptance.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And you just keep moving forward. No grudges being held. I still loved whoever did it, my father, my mother, whatever. I just moved forward. You know what I mean? But at 10 is when I felt like I was getting bitter and resenting and angry. And then that moment broke that. But then you started talking and it made me feel like maybe we're just unaware that this is bad.
Yeah.
Like this is something bad that you're doing to me. This is going to affect me.
Exactly.
Maybe as a child or it could be both. Maybe we do have the essence of forgiveness built in us. I almost kind of want to believe that because we're created in his image. But then there's that aspect of you don't know right from wrong fully at such a young age. So you do just accept all the bullshit that happens towards you. You know what I mean? It could be a little bit of both. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now that made me think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you guys still hold grudges today, do you think? Do you hold grudges with anybody that like you haven't forgiven maybe?
I don't think I have. I don't think I am. Like I have new things that I'm currently working on forgiving right now. So aside from that, everything that I have forgiven and moved on from, I have completely moved on from. I don't think I'm holding a grudge. I've processed all that. There is something happening currently where I'm like, I need to iron this out. I don't think I'm holding a grudge. I'm in the space of, I know I'm going to let go. I just need to figure out how I'm going to get there, but still respect. I need to have boundaries for myself, or like still respect how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like have grace with that. It's not like, oh, you fucked up. Cool. Everything goes back to normal. I forgive you. It's like, I know I'm going to forgive you. I do forgive you. I just need time.
Yeah.
To like move forward. How do I even move forward is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I would never hold a grudge and be like, no, I'm done. I don't believe in that. But how about you?
I don't think I necessarily hold grudges, but I do know that there are certain wounds that I feel like I probably haven't processed, and therefore I'll carry a little resentment towards people. And so I treat them with that resentment.
Okay, so not towards people or towards the person?
Towards certain people or what? No, not like everyone. No, towards that person that caused the wound.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily hold a grudge because I feel like hold a grudge is like you're like angry with them and stuff like that. But there's like a little bit of coldness because there's a wound that I feel like hasn't been processed. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Because when I think of a grudge, I feel like it's ill-willed.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't talk to that person. And you're like, because you did this, I'm not speaking to you. Or because you did this, we're not cool. Like,
actually, I'm thinking about it. I maybe that's a grudge then that I'm holding, but also I don't feel like I'm ill intended towards the person. I'm more like, I will never fuck with you ever. Like, I don't.
No, it's also protecting yourself. Yeah, because
But it's like they're not even personal to me in a sense where I feel like we ever have to actually cross paths again. I'm just determined to make sure that never happens, and I don't really care. Like, I want you to live your life, go be happy, go be healthy, go be abundant. But I just no, I don't know if that's a grudge.
No, I don't think so.
I don't want to be grudgy. Like I really don't because I've seen people hold grudges.
Yeah,
I've seen people hold grudges, and I'm like, golly.
No,
like,
you know the difference between a grudge.
Yeah, because like I'm not like ill-willed. I'm just like, you will never work in anything that I'm doing. I don't ever want to talk to you. Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah,
is that a grudge?
No,
it's just
know.
like I
guess it's levels to it.
I think that's just a boundary.
Yeah. It's a boundary. It's gotta be to me. It's a boundary.
Yeah,
because it's just like it was OD, bro.
Yeah,
it's a boundary.
Yeah. I feel like grudges are just more like it's like carrying hatred almost.
Yeah. I have no hate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have no hate.
Yeah,
I definitely held grudges with like my last 2 relationships, my last 2 partners, for a while. I did. Even if I kept going back, there was a grudge there where, even if they tried to do better, I was still kind of holding on to the past and how they did me wrong in the first place. And so there was never really room for growth. And then when I finally was trying to be open and start new and let go of a grudge, then the cycle continued where they showed me something, another disappointment, and it was just the cycle continued. So I'm trying to get better with not. Right now, I don't have any grudges. I think I've let go of all my grudges. I forgive all of my exes. I forgive you all for your bullshit. I hope that you're doing the work. I hope that you're actually trying to be a better person for your next person. But I've got love for them, I have prayed for my exes, even like wishing them the best.
Yeah, it's like you shared a life. Yeah, at a certain point, you know what I mean. I almost fell into a grudge. Like I remember like feeling like, man, I'm starting to hate this person. You know what I mean. But like hate is just not in my heart. It's not in my nature. But you're human. It's part of the human experience. Yeah. You feel the emotion, and it's just up to you if you're going to entertain it, court that emotion, and bring it into your life. But no, it was short-lived. But the feeling sometimes creeps up.
Facts.
What's the hardest thing you ever had to forgive?
The hardest? That's hard.
That's hard. Right? I guess I don't know if I had anything like super hard to. Well, I guess that is.
What you mean? What? You've never had anything super hard to forgive?
No, like I mean, not like I'm not saying like there's nothing hard to forgive. I think I found things harder to forgive.
Out of everything that you forgave, what was the hardest one?
Probably my father.
Your father?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, just feeling. He basically, he was just Francisco. Because I love him so. I love my father so much, and he's just does it, like he just doesn't know like emotion and doesn't know how to communicate what he really feels. And when I was pregnant with my son, he stopped talking to me for a year and 8 months. I counted.
Yeah.
A year and 8 months or a year and 4 months, one or the other. And he lived in the house. So he literally acted like I didn't exist. Right, that's so painful. My house is not that big.
Right.
So he would walk past me, everything.
No good morning, no nothing.
No good morning, no good nothing, no happy birthday.
Ay, Dios.
At first he was holding my son, but then he would tell my mom, stop, don't bring him to me, like, you know, like, don't bring him to me, you know. So he didn't want a connection with my baby at first. And him and him doing that was very painful, because I would like try to be, I was like, okay, I hope that I have a boy, because my dad loves boys, and his boys lived in the Dominican Republic at the time. So I was like, if I have a boy, he's gonna love my boy, he's gonna want a boy. And then I was like, okay, I gotta name my son after my father, so he can be like, accept my son. So my son, his name is Jariel, but his middle name is Lisandris, and they call my father Lisandro. So I would name my son Lisandris, his middle name, after my father. And that didn't help either. I had the boy, I named him after my father, and then I would like always like leave letters, and I'm like, I'm so sorry that I'm pregnant, I'm this.
Wow.
And I would hear that he read it, and my mom was like trying to like, hey, you know, talk to her, and he would not. Like, he literally just acted like I didn't exist. And he was kind of mad at my mom because she kind of like, I guess, helped me or supported me during that time, which I know was hard for her as well, you know. But I think, yeah, as an adult, forgiving that, because that's not the only moments where he acted like I didn't exist in the house as a kid. Like, he did that multiple times, multiple birthdays, just acting like,
just because he was angry, having a temper tantrum,
just because
being a kid.
Because he didn't know.
Sorry, I'm not saying about your dad. I'm talking about my dad.
You're talking about your dad, right? Yeah, we got kind of like similar dads and stuff like that. So to me, that's been the hardest thing for me to forgive still to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what keeps coming up for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the hardest thing is equivalent to the hardest person.
Yeah.
To forgive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My father. Yeah.
¿Y tú, Jazzy?
I guess for me, it's been probably my ex before my last ex was the hardest one. 2 exes ago. It was hard to forgive him, because not just because he cheated, had a whole side chick, cheated a few times with her, but also because he lied about it. And that hurt me even more than him cheating, is the fact that he denied it to my face when I had like proof. I had screenshots and everything, you know? And I'm like, why are you lying to my face? Like, the least you could do right now is be honest. The thing is, what a lot of men don't get is, if a woman brings it up to you, if a woman is asking you something, chances are she already knows. So just come clean.
Right.
So that hurt me really deeply, the more that he denied it for like weeks, and then finally came clean. And by then I was just, I was so heartbroken about him just lying about it. So yeah, that was a grudge that I held for a minute. While. Yeah.
Wow. I think the hardest thing for me to have forgiven, I almost want to say my pops también. Like, that was hard. I think I forgave him. I believe I forgave him. I accept the situation. I feel like I accept the situation more than forgive. Although I feel like I forgave. And the reason why I'm conflicted right now that I'm thinking about it is because I think prior to this conversation, I would be like, yeah, I forgave my dad. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I accepted it, whatever. But now that I'm really thinking about it, I'm like, I definitely accept what it is, what the situation is, what the relationship is. So I don't have any ill feelings, but I think there's still pain. There's still unresolved pain that I haven't let out. And I don't know if that's connected to fully forgiving or not. But I do forgive him. Like, I don't hold anything towards him.
Right.
But it's also like, it's like this accountability is huge for me. Like, when someone doesn't own what they've done or see how it's hurting you, and just like are deeply like, you can't even feel for me.
Right.
Like, you don't even feel that what you're doing is hurting me, and you can't even acknowledge that. We're just going to brush right over it. That I have a problem with. And I don't know if that's the only part of our relationship that I'm having a hard time forgiving, because I just don't know. It's like every year that goes by, you're just gonna act like you number one dad in the motherfucking world.
Santico.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, I don't understand. At what point are you gonna realize, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm hurting you? and I want to resolve this. There's,
Ugh.
like at what point does that happen? Will it ever happen? I accept if it never does.
Yeah.
But now that I'm thinking about it, let's forget everything you've done now. I forgive that.
Yeah.
Let's move on from that. What I'm having a hard time getting over is that you're not even acknowledging it.
Yes. And that's been the hardest thing for me too, because I don't know if you ever came to your father and actually like said like your pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. We've had these moments.
And
it's
no accountability whatsoever.
Also, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but they look at you like they don't even realize it happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, were
I
you
was
not
so
there?
bad.
Like,
sorry.
like, I did that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even remember. Are you going to say sorry though about it?
Yeah. Literally. Because I'm like, that's really all I'm looking. Granted, I've stopped seeking
me too.
the sorry now at this point.
Me too.
I'm just like, forget it. Like I accept you.
Yeah.
Sir.
Exactly.
But like, it's like a part of me has still been waiting for that and craving that deeply, like that acknowledgement. Like, even if you don't remember it the way that I do, it's like something about when a person is genuinely sorry that it just gives you like at least a little bit of
like care. You care.
Yeah, like a little bit of like, wow, thank you for seeing me. Thank you for seeing the situation. Even if you don't think it happened that way, it's about how you made me feel.
Right.
You don't have to, but apologize for how you made me feel. You know what I'm saying?
Own it.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Yeah,
that's the hard part. So maybe there's an area there that I haven't fully let go of, but it's because it's active.
Yeah,
like that's an active thing. How do you fully forgive something that is still actively happening? I think that's what it is. Now that we're really breaking it down, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's deep.
Jeez.
So, do you guys have an early memory of you guys asking for forgiveness for maybe something you guys did? You ladies did.
I think I was like probably about 7.
Damn.
What'd you do?
And I was mad when we were playing a game of like tag or something. And I called this older girl, like a neighborhood friend of ours. I was so mad. I don't know why. I feel like she cheated and I called her a bitch. I think it was the first time I said the B word out loud.
That's so funny.
And people and my cousins and everybody was like, "Oh, Jasmine, like how don't say that. Why'd you say that? Like you better say sorry." And I was just like, I felt so ashamed. I'm like, it took me a minute, but then I was like, I'm sorry.
That's hilarious. That's funny
you remembered that part of my damn 7. Forgiving at 7.
Yeah.
You?
For me, I have a few memories of asking for forgiveness. But I think the earliest one is I lied about brushing my teeth when I was a kid.
Hilarious.
Yeah, like, it was one of them things I didn't feel like
Sucia.
doing. I know. I'm obsessed now with my teeth. Like, I'm obsessed. I cannot not. But no, when I was a kid, I was maybe like 5. And I remember my stepmom had asked me, like, did you go brush your teeth? And I was like, yeah, I think I maybe had forgotten to do it. And I was like, I did not want to get in trouble. So I'm just going to say yeah. So I don't get in trouble. And maybe I'll just do it later. I think that's what happened. But she went and checked the bristles and it wasn't wet. And I didn't know, right? Like, I didn't know that would be what would give me away. And, I was young.
Hilarious.
And so she checks the brush. She goes, then how come your toothbrush isn't wet? And I was like, because it dried. I'm like, I committed to the lie. Now I'm going to commit. I'm going to commit. So I legit just continued to lie. So she gets my dad and she's like, yo, your daughter she didn't brush her teeth. She's acting like she did. So he comes up to me. And this is back in the day when, hitting was acceptable. So he's like, did you brush your teeth? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And he's like, okay, look, after many times of this, he's like, look, just say you didn't because I don't want to discipline you right now. I think he thought it was so funny and cute. But he was like, just say that you didn't and we can discipline.
He's trying to give you the pass.
He's trying to give me a pass.
Take it, Cass.
Guess what I did? I go, I didn't do it, but I'm only saying that because you told me to.
A brat.
Till
this day.
Till this day.
Cass with the sass.
That's the first time, he got so pissed because I kept just saying, I'm only saying it because you telling me to.
That's hilarious.
And he took that toothbrush and he smacked me with it. I had a toothbrush mark on my fucking leg. Yeah. And then I realized I was wrong, obviously, and I did. I was like, I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? Like, I fucked up.
That'll teach your ass not to lie no more.
Damn.
I learned my lesson.
And brush your teeth.
Yeah, brush my teeth.
You little nasty.
Yeah. I was a kid, y'all. Don't be judging me.
No, you're not judging you.
Have you guys found it hard ever to forgive yourself for anything?
Yeah, I still find it kind of hard to forgive myself for a lot of things. It's like I'm still processing that. Like it comes up so often that I've allowed a lot of things to happen, or to I've allowed myself to engage in a lot of things that don't serve me. And yeah, I'm still processing like how to fully forgive myself. And I think that also is because I'm still in the process of, I have to forgive a lot of people, if that makes sense, to finally fully forgive myself. Or I don't know if it has to be the reverse. Might be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I feel like I find myself constantly saying, journaling in my journal, like, okay, when it comes up, I forgive you, Efran, or little Lisa, that, you know, I'll be talking to my inner child too. But then it happens so often still that I'm like, oh my God, girl, how much more you got?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's just a constant thing through life that we're just going to be doing. It's just having to forgive ourselves for certain things. Or if it's just something that I'm just in this season still having to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This past year was the toughest experience for forgiveness for me, like, and for myself, because I don't think I ever really had a moment where I had to look in the mirror and be like, it's you. You got to forgive yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think majority of my life, I always thought it was everyone else. And I remember being in Vegas with my sister, and I was like, let's get a matching tattoo. And we were trying to figure out what would be significant for our sisterhood, like our relationship growing up. We landed on the 70 times 7, which is found in the Bible when like Jesus is talking to, I think, Peter. And he's like, you know, how many times do we need to forgive? And Jesus is like 70 times 7.
Yeah, it was Peter.
Yeah. And then Peter's like, what? Like, that's astronomical. And he's like, yes, every chance that you get, forgive.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a hair on my lip. I got it. Every chance that you get, forgive. And I think that's just so beautiful. And yet, obviously, it's so hard.
It is.
But what's interesting about that, so anyway, I got that tatted on the core of my, so it's like by my, anyway.
Can we see?
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Without flashing a nip?
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't let it slip.
Okay, I'm not going to let it slip. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it says 70 times 7. So I put it there because I want that to be the focal point of how I live my life, right?
Yes, that's so deep.
Yeah, the core of my life. Thank you. And I've been tested extremely so with forgiveness since that day. And what's interesting about that is maybe like later that month, I had an awakening, a beautiful, beautiful awakening where I was reminded that who I am isn't who I physically am, right? That this finite way of living and thinking isn't the source of my being. The source of my being comes from an infinite way, which is what Jesus is talking about. The reason why we find it so hard to forgive is because it's the human experience.
Yep.
But to forgive at every chance that you can, that is something that is limitless. It comes from something greater than who we are. This realm is very limited. So of course, yeah, we find it hard to forgive, right? But when I had this awakening, it reminded me, so I'm not from here. Who I am is comes from a limitless place. And so therefore, forgiving myself, because I was dealing with that in that moment, in that very moment, forgiving myself became easier, because it was like, now I'm not necessarily forgiving me. I'm not the bad thing that happened. What happened was I forgot who I was. And I began to perform according to this human experience. I began to zombify, you know what I mean, who I am, and live amongst and in this world. And then I realized that's what I need to forgive. I need to forgive the fact that I didn't allow who I truly am to continue governing how I live my life.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? And so then it became easier. I was like, okay, so I'm not bad. I forgot. Let's forgive the fact that you forgot. And how can you stay in a place where you remember who you are and that's who's leading your life? And that's where I'm at now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
Preach.
it took me a second, but it was good. It was really deep, man. It was a beautiful, beautiful moment. Like, I want to go back to that day. That's how beautiful it was. It was so incredible.
I love that. I love that for you.
Thanks, guys.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I've had to learn how to forgive myself for a lot of things. More so like in this past year. Because for a while I realized I wasn't forgiving myself. It took me doing some reflecting to even realize I hadn't forgiven myself for the crazy ways I was living or whatever decisions I decided to do out of hurt and anger or fear. And moving through fear was making me make some really bad decisions. And moving through hurt and pain, making the pettiest decisions like that I was not proud of. And so I went through a lot of that and realized I need to forgive that chapter of my life and just move forward. And like you said, kind of like recognize that's not really me at my core. That's not who I am. That's me hurt. That's me in pain. That's me, just kind of being influenced by people around me, by my partners, because I feel like energy is contagious. So like they say, tell me who you hang with, I'll tell you who you are, kind of thing. So like, I realized I've always been very much influenced by friends and partners, whether it was like the insecurities or just toxic behaviors that I also took on. Yeah. And I hadn't forgiven myself for taking on those traits at the time and not realizing that that's not even me. That's not who I am, because I value honesty so much. At some point when I was lying, I'm like, why am I lying? This doesn't feel good. This is not me. I hate lying. Like, and to the point where I was being so honest with partners, it was making them uncomfortable. Like that, I'm oversharing, and I'm like, okay, I gotta find a balance here, But just forgiving all those savage times in my young adulthood, young child, like teen years, like I was growing, learning, and now I'm having more grace with myself.
Love that.
Know that.
Good. Grace.
Yeah.
Yes.
It requires grace.
Yeah.
Don't we need it?
Wild. Do you find it harder to forgive someone of blood, family, versus someone who isn't? Relationship, friend, business, I don't know, anything other than blood. What's harder for you?
Damn, that's tough. I think it's harder to forgive. I think it's harder to forgive blood.
Yeah?
Yeah. And not necessarily like it's easier for me to talk to a blood relative than it would be for me to talk to a stranger, for sure. Like who hurt me. But I feel like I'll make a blood relative, I guess, feel it more than I would the stranger.
Yeah, because it almost carries more weight. Like, I'm your blood. Why aren't you? Exactly. I get it. Like, yeah. But then it's also the weird side of it is like, they're your blood, so shouldn't you really want to forgive?
And then it's the knowing that you're my blood, so I know that I'm going to forgive you anyways at some point.
Right.
So that's why it's kind of like, I'm going to make you feel it because I know I can't not stop, not talk to you forever. Right. You're my family, I love you.
Yeah.
But you got to take some time. We got to take some time away from you. Yeah. So yeah, I think blood, I guess. Yeah, blood for me.
That's hard for me because I don't think my like any like I don't have siblings, but I have really close cousins who are like siblings to me, and they've never done anything so bad where I've had to forgive them. Like
Lucky.
I'm very blessed. Not that I know of anyway. So
No, yeah. I mean, I've never had anything so bad happen to me either, but just little things that can still,
yeah.
little traumas that
Yeah.
can stem I have from family. Yeah.
I mean, I guess like I think it's easier for me to forgive family. Like I've forgiven my mother, I've forgiven even my father who I don't even really talk to. Like I've just like I try to hold compassion because it is family.
Mm-hmm.
So I have more compassion for my blood, I feel like, rather than someone who is not blood, and I don't have to worry about seeing them again.
Mm-hmm,
I'll
mm-hmm.
let you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's easier to forgive family.
Yeah, I think I have a mixed
Mm.
view on it. I think to me almost forgiveness is just a level playing field. You know what I mean? Like it takes the same effort to forgive blood and someone. I think cuz it's like you're doing me wrong, period.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm thinking that it is the same, it takes the same effort, it takes the same energy. However, I feel like it just hurts more
Yeah.
when it's blood.
Yeah.
It just hurts just a little bit more because you're supposed to have my back. You're supposed to be for me, not
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
against me.
Not against me.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
we didn't choose each other, but God did.
Mm-hmm.
That
God
enough
did.
is a heavy. You know what I mean? Like so. But I think the energy is the same. It takes me the same energy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I guess it really depends on the relationship itself too. How
Yeah.
close are you with that family member or
Versus
that
the person.
person?
Very
Yeah.
true. Yeah, very true. It's
Yeah.
circumstantial. Because if it's somebody I really don't know, it's like, okay, bye.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I forgive you. Just what? Get out of my face.
Yeah. Be gone.
Be gone. Yeah, that's rough though. That's still rough.
Yeah. So I want to ask, how long does it typically? I guess this is such a vague question because it's like hard to answer. To say like how long does it take for you guys to typically forgive someone? But you like everybody's different, so it's like you can't say that it takes me 2 weeks to forgive everybody because that's not true. Yeah,
especially because it's circumstantial too. Like,
yeah. What did you do?
Yeah.
Do you think you can rebuild trust? Is that something you guys have done? Do you think it's possible?
That's deep.
That's
a deep question.
I've always said no. I've always limited myself so much since I was younger to say that no, I am this kind of person. It's hard for me to trust. Once you break my trust, this is what it is. So I feel like I haven't even allowed God to work in my life because I've limited myself. I put myself in a box when it comes to that. It's like, and I just realized that, like I was telling y'all with the zodiac signs, it's like, damn, like they say for Scorpios, like, okay, it's so hard for us to trust. Once you break a Scorpio's trust, is over with. And so I love zodiac signs, and now realizing this today, I realize like, wow, I've used this actually against myself. And I claim to be someone who doesn't even like to be labeled by all the traits that my zodiac holds. I like to be like considered an evolved, what they would say, an evolved Scorpio. So you can't even say. But at the same time, I've hindered myself from growing. And I just realized that in this moment today that it has been hard for me to trust because I told myself that I can't trust. I got to tell myself the opposite moving forward. I need to affirm that I am able to build trust. And that's probably another reason why it's been hard for me to have trust for myself. You know what I'm saying? I've broken my trust infinite amount of times because of the stuff that I've done. So, yeah.
So
I can trust myself.
You're growing in that.
I'm just now growing, and I was like, I feel like I just shedded another layer of skin. I was like,
good for you.
I feel like Snake.
And we were here for it. That's
you
cool.
were here for it. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Instant revelation. It was dope.
Dang. For me, Trust is so valuable to me, man. Trust is so valuable to me. I think that I can rebuild trust for sure. I wouldn't limit myself into thinking that no one could ever grow and gain my trust again, but that is a long road. That is an uphill battle, I will say. Only because I have to take it for what it is, right? If I'm talking to someone's spirit, is it even active? Is it even front of mind? Is it even how you lead? If it doesn't, if that isn't how you live and lead your life, I'm looking at the human. I'm looking at the finite mind here. I'm looking at that. And that to me is already something hard to trust.
Yeah.
And so when you've broken it, and that's still how you live your life through a human experience, then I don't know how I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just taking it for what it is. It's just, you know what I'm saying? But if I see a spirit-led person, you know, as best as they can be, my guard will definitely go down in that rebuilding process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can definitely see a way of rebuilding. But if you have no relation to me, like I don't need to see you, I don't need to have a life with you involved. I don't need to rebuild trust. I think that I don't think trust, when it's broken, I don't think it's necessary to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
That's a
Especially
choice.
if you want it to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if I
of
want
course.
it to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
Even with family?
If it's with family, as I'm saying, if it's someone that I need to have in my life, then obviously I'm going to look for ways for it to be rebuilt. But like I said, if I'm in the wrong, I know it's an uphill battle towards you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you're in the wrong, it's going to be an uphill battle towards me. It's just how it is. Like it's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It takes one thing to mess up, one huge thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To mess up all the great things.
Mm-hmm.
And that sucks. Why? It just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you think of any type of bad thing that someone could do. Think of the worst thing someone can do, you know? And it's like that immediately changes if they're a good person or not. You know what I mean? Like think of the worst thing. Like I would say like killing somebody is obviously one of the worst things you could possibly do. Yeah. Would you immediately call that person a good person?
No.
You know what I'm saying? And they were good up until that moment.
Well, no, you can't rebuild trust with a killer.
I know, but I'm giving you an example. Like it takes one thing for you to be like, oh, questioning, who are you even? Yeah. You know what I mean? Who are you even? So I'm only going to be like that if like I'm going to seek to rebuild trust if it's someone I value in my life. Yeah. If I don't value you in my life, I don't care to even rebuild it.
No, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to want you in my life and see you in my life.
Yeah,
are you worth rebuilding the trust?
Yeah, it's got to be
again?
A worth thing, a value thing.
Yeah.
Because you got to also have boundaries, bro. You know, you can't be stupid either.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? I agree. Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like also like it has to be somebody that important to you, but also like, you know, they say time heals.
For sure.
And like you said, you know, based on like kind of how we were talking about, like, is that person doing the work? Are they actually trying to better themselves? Mm-hmm. So I think it would take a certain amount of time, separation, and then coming back to it and seeing if that person has even really grown from that or become a better person from that. Yeah. But even then, it'll be different. It'll always be different. Mm-hmm. Once they break that trust, it's gonna be, you know, thin ice. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like family could definitely
be rebuilt for sure.
Be rebuilt, yeah, like it has to. You would hope. At least
you'd hope,
but it would be the same instance. I feel like for family, because it's like if you broke my trust as a family member, it's still the same. If family member or foe, you would still be holding. It doesn't, you know, like just because you're my blood doesn't make the trust easier to rebuild. It's just I kind of had to. God chose you to be in my life, so
I think it would take time and distance.
Mm-hmm. It's still gonna take the same.
Yeah, and effort. It would still be, even when they rebuild your trust, you're still going to have that regardless if it was whoever it was.
Yeah. It's like, I don't even know if it's even possible to completely remove you're human, so the thought's just gonna come in. Really? Can I really trust you? As you're building the trust, it's like it's almost gonna creep in. How do you like not let that creep in?
Yeah.
A second thought. You know what I mean? But it's weird being a human, man.
The human experience.
It's so weird.
Welcome to the human experience.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So has there ever been a time that, you know, like maybe you guys haven't held yourself accountable to apologize to someone because of pride, embarrassment, like shame, fear, guilt?
Nah.
Nope. You've always apologized?
I always do.
Nice.
I have no... I think I said this in one of the episodes, or I don't know, but I'm so fearful of being a bad person.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't ever want to be a bad person. I don't want anyone... I'm scared of the triggers and traumas I've developed in someone. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry to anyone if you have any triggers and traumas from being around me because of how I treated you or not treated you. You know what I mean? Like, I am genuinely apologetic, and I think any person who I've ever hurt can feel that from me.
Yeah.
I will be the first to apologize. I will be the first to own it. I don't want to be a bad person.
Yeah.
And I don't like hurting people. I really don't. I really don't like to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
So if I do, I'm like, let me clean this up, because I also want my soul to be pure. I want to be clean. I want to move forward clean. So I hold myself to the same standard I wish I would expect for someone to be towards me. That's why I value it so much.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's such a big deal. If I was aloof and just didn't care about it, then I don't think I would hold it with so much weight if somebody were to do something to me. But because I'm up here with it, then this is what I want. And if I don't get it, I don't need you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
What for you?
What was the question again? Has it been hard to apologize?
Yeah, has it been hard? Like, has there been a time when you didn't hold yourself accountable to apologize because of pride or embarrassment or shame, fear, guilt?
I think I've been pretty good at apologizing when I know for sure that like I did wrong. I'm pretty apologetic, but like with my last partner, I know there was also a time period where I had too much pride to apologize for what I had did when we were not even together, you know? But we were back and forth, so it's like, oh, we're not together, and there's those blurred lines, right? So you know, we were on a break. Like,
no, you didn't, Ross. No, you did not.
But yeah, so even so, I guess it was even coming clean about like things during our break and things like that, and I know I hurt him as much as he hurt me, but so I felt like I didn't need to apologize for times that I've hurt him because of how deeply he hurt me. And just little things when I tried to, hide things, whatever it was, I felt like he did not deserve an apology from me. But then at some point, I apologized for everything, and I apologized for my part in it as well. And I finally took accountability, because I realized I need to take the accountability to even move forward for myself. So I think I did all my apologizing.
I feel
so
that.
far.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be so scared of I'd be so scared of not apologizing that like I may not have even think that I did something to you. I just like, if I ever did anything,
right,
I'm sorry. Like that's how much I'm like, let me make sure I cross all my everything.
Yeah, I found myself more apologetic as an adult than I ever did like growing up. Yeah, but I realized that there is a lot of people that I actually have to apologize to, family wise, and not because I did anything to hurt them intentionally, but because of who I was, because I was hurt, might have hurt my dad or my mom or my sister or things like that, to where maybe I've overlooked them or just pointed a lot of fingers at them for the way I was. And so like I've been like I guess I've been holding off on doing that in the past week. But
yeah, you mentioned that like 2 weeks ago, I think. I remember.
yeah, it was
Maybe
it
a
was last
month
week.
ago.
No, it was not, because at
It was
Jenny's
a
2
party.
months
month
ago.
It was at Jenny's party that I.
I'm
It
like,
was at
damn,
Jenny's
she
party that
done threw you under the bus a month ago.
No, it was a week
I'm
ago.
just playing with you.
And I was like, let me let it brew. And then I was like, why am I letting this brew? Because it's like, I feel like that's me just avoiding, apologizing for, to my dad.
You're talking about the day you was about to hit your group chat and be like, have I ever done anything? You talking about that?
That was the day that you guys were like, we should cover this segment where like, and I was like, I don't have anything to apologize to people for. Remember? Because I've never hurt anyone like that. Like I haven't. Like I'm like you, where I believe in karma so heavy.
Yeah.
I'm not doing nothing to anyone to make sure that shit doesn't come back on me.
For sure.
Clean spirit. You know what I'm saying? But I was very rebellious as a kid, and now I can acknowledge that and be like, wow, maybe I hurt my parents with my behavior. How about it's not like you were just always, it was their fault that you were acting out. How about you were just acting out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Take accountability.
I'm taking accountability for everything. I said this is my season for accountability. Relationships with partners, parents, siblings, everything. It's like I realized, wow, it's been me for everything. Like I'm in that phase, and I'm just like, yeah, that's where I'm holding myself accountable now, that I am going to apologize to the people that I have to apologize for who I was, as, I was learning and making some decisions.
You hear her guilt in her voice as she's saying it?
Yeah, it's a little bit of shame. I guess it's a little bit of shame, fear, not knowing, are they going to accept my apology or what they will do with it? Because, I can sit here and apologize to y'all, and we can be like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I accept your apology. I'm sorry too if I'm not. I don't, I know that the communication is not the same on the other end. Like, having the skill set to really know how to like go back and forth with that, hey, I'm sorry too if that, so I just trying to learn how to be okay for if that doesn't happen, where there's, whereas I just do it to completely clean the slate with my family. And
and you're not saying an apology to receive one.
Exactly. And it's just like to,
Yeah. Well, there's this really there's this really good exercise for forgiveness.
Yeah.
I watched it. I got it from Stutz. It's a film that Jonah Hill did about his therapist, and he breaks down the different exercises that he puts people through to aid them in being the best version of themselves. And there's so many good ones, but the forgiveness one is really interesting. And you basically, should we do it?
Yes.
We should do it.
Okay, let's do it. Y'all want to do it with us? Do it with us. If you're listening and you driving, don't do it. You can pull over.
This is a exercise to forgive someone.
To forgive someone.
Okay.
So you have to close your eyes, and you need to imagine yourself in a world that's filled with love. The only thing that exists in this world is love. Everything comes from a place of love. It's abundant in love. Imagine that world, and imagine every person in that world filled with love as well. And imagine all that love in that world and from every person in it. Imagine all that love entering you. Fill your entire body with that love, all the way from your toes up to your head. And then once you're filled, imagine a person that you know you need to forgive in front of you. See that person and take all the love that you are now filled with and pour it into them. Give it to them. Fill their entire body from their toe to their head. And when you've done that, open your eyes. And that is supposed to aid you in forgiving.
Like it.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good forgiving. You might have to do it a few times.
Of course.
You might have to do it a few times, but I feel like love is the answer to everything. So I love that
Literally.
exercise. Love is the key. It is nothing.
God.
It's
God is
everything.
love.
Yeah, it's everything. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing. It heals.
Yeah.
You know. So I seek to be loved every day of my life.
Yes.
Period.
Amen.
You know.
Amen.
There's this quote that's like, holding on to grudges or like not being able to forgive someone, not forgiving, hating someone is like drinking poison and waiting for that person to die.
100%.
Yep. I see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. Nope. Not in 2024.
Yeah. Not no more.
Not no more. Y'all here for the growth.
Some people been drinking.
No more.
I was drinking poison. I
Yeah.
love it.
Look at us, man.
Look at us.
We're growing, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
See it happening, like through our conversations. I feel like I've already grown through these episodes.
Facts.
Like it's crazy.
These have been great conversations.
For
Yeah.
sure.
For me personally. So
Yeah.
even if they don't fuck with it, I fuck with it.
I fuck with it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
for us.
Let us know if you fucking with it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I hope this helps anyone out there. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Look at us.
Bye.
Till next Wednesday.